Picture this, a stone cube the weight of a modern sedan. Now, picture lifting it to the height of a 40-story skyscraper. No cranes, no steel cables. You don't even have the wheel. Just copper chisels, wooden levers, and raw human muscle. That is exactly how the Great Pyramid of Khufu was raised 4,500 years ago. 2,300,000 blocks, a total weight of around 6 million tons. The joinery is so precise that you cannot slide a knife blade between the stones. And here is what blows my mind the most. We are still fiercely arguing about how they pulled it off. Not who, not why, but how. We have fragments of ancient papyrus, traces of copper on limestone, and the eroded ruins of ramps. But the complete engineering blueprint, missing. The pyramid stands right there, yet its secret keeps slipping through our fingers. Today, no ancient astronauts. Just pure physics, geometry, and logistics. How did human thought and sheer muscle turn bare rock into the only surviving wonder of the ancient world? Let us lock down the baseline facts. 2560 BC. The fourth dynasty of the Old Kingdom. On the throne sits Pharaoh Khufu, whom the Greeks would later call Cheops. Egypt is the undisputed superpower of its time. Agriculture is perfected. The social hierarchy is absolute, and resources are heavily centralized. But the technology, this is still the Bronze Age. No iron. The wheel exists, but nobody is using it for transport or heavy lifting. It is strictly reserved for the potter's craft. A builder's primary assets are copper, stone, timber, and sheer human muscle. Now, look at the monument itself. Its original height was 146 meters. Today it stands 9 meters shorter, stripped of its outer casing. The base stretches to 130 meters, the margin of error across all four sides. Less than 2 centimeters. This means these ancient builders possessed surveying skills comparable to modern optical instruments. Its alignment to the cardinal directions misses true north by a mere 3/60ths of a degree. No compasses, no theodolites, just the stars. Where did this massive mountain of material come from? The pyramid's massive core consists of local limestone, quarried right on the Giza Plateau. This stone is relatively soft, workable with copper saws and dolomite hammer stones. But the outer casing, that required premium Tura limestone from the eastern bank of the Nile, fine-grained white stone that literally glowed under the Egyptian sun. For the inner burial chambers and stress-relieving corridors, they used monolithic granite from Aswan, 800 kilometers to the south. Granite is brutally hard. Cutting it with soft copper required advanced abrasive technology, likely utilizing quartz sand under heavy friction. Now, consider the timeline. The generally accepted timeline is a 20-year construction window. Simple math yields a staggering metric. One multi-ton block must be quarried, transported, and perfectly set every 5 minutes non-stop, day and night. In reality, this required tens of thousands of skilled men working in synchronized shifts. And here is the crucial key. These men were not slaves. Modern archaeological excavations at the workers' village at Giza prove they were fed prime rations of beef, fish, bread, and beer. They possessed their own cemeteries, buried with full honors. These were free, hired crews, divided into highly competitive guilds with prideful names like the Drunkards of Menkaure. Their motivation wasn't the sting of the whip, it was deep religious devotion and fierce professional pride. So, we have the material, the Nile delivery logistics, and a highly motivated workforce. That leaves the ultimate riddle. How do you physically lift 2,300,000 blocks to the height of a modern skyscraper? This is where the real engineering battle of hypotheses begins. let us break down the ultimate engineering challenge, the sheer vertical lift. This isn't merely a question of physical muscle, it is a brutal problem of geometry, friction, and logistics. It is the exact kind of problem modern engineers solve with hydraulic cranes and high-power winches. The Egyptians possessed none of that. So, how did they defy gravity? Theory 1. The direct ramp. The most intuitive idea: construct a straight, inclined earth ramp from the ground all the way to the current tier and drag the blocks up. But here, physics and geometry collide. To maintain a manageable incline of 5 to 7 degrees up to a height of 146 meters, the ramp would have to stretch over 1.5 kilometers long. The total volume of material required for this ramp would exceed the pyramid itself several times over. And once construction finished, you would have to clear a mountain of rubble. No trace of such an enormous excavation debris field has ever been found around Giza. Most engineers have tossed this theory out. Theory to the spiral ramp. Here, the ramp wraps around the pyramid's exterior perimeter, climbing along the faces. This solves the length issue, keeping the workspace compact. However, it creates two devastating headaches. First, turning multi-ton monolithic blocks at sharp 90-degree corners is insanely difficult without modern machinery. Second, the ramp entirely shrouds the pyramid's surface, making it impossible for surveyors to verify the geometry of the faces. And as we already know, the precision of this stonework is unreal. How do you maintain a flawless straight line when the entire face is buried under a ramp? Theory 3. The internal ramp. French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin proposed a far more elegant hypothesis. The ramp didn't run outside, it ran inside the body of the monument. It spiraled upward just behind the outer layer of masonry, opening onto specialized corner platforms where teams could pivot the blocks. Fascinatingly, microgravity studies of the Great Pyramid conducted in the 1980s actually revealed density anomalies running in a distinct spiral pattern. This could be the structural ghost of Houdin's internal ramp. The theory is brilliant, but it requires invasive excavation to confirm, and Egyptian authorities are not handing out permits anytime soon. Theory for the lever system. This approach bypasses long ramps entirely. Instead, you lift each block vertically by rocking it with heavy wooden levers and shoving stone shims underneath tier by tier, step by step. Rock, lift, wedge. It has been proven experimentally that a single crew of 10 can raise a 2-ton block by 1 meter in just a few minutes. Multiply that by hundreds of synchronized crews, and the pyramid rises in perfect tiers. The deadly downside: at extreme heights, operating levers on narrow, crumbling ledges becomes exceptionally dangerous, real fast. And finally, water logistics. This covers delivery rather than the vertical lift. The recently discovered Papyrus of Merer, the actual logbook of an ancient construction inspector, describes delivering premium Tura limestone by water. Blocks were loaded onto heavy barges, shipped down the Nile, and routed through a complex system of artificial canals directly to the base of the Giza Plateau. This slashed overland transport to a minimum, though it still leaves the final lift up into the sky an open question. The truth is likely a brilliant combination: an internal ramp for the core bulk of the work, levers for final precision placement, and artificial canals for regional logistics. But until we can look deep inside those stones, the pyramid will guard its engineering secret tight. We've broken down the engineering hypotheses. Now, let us explore 3 major versions that attempt to explain why there is still no single, definitive answer. Version A: the skeptical view. This theory argues that the mystery is already solved. The pyramid was built using a logical combination of internal ramps, wooden levers, and coordinated muscle power. Every single component of this technology is known, experimentally proven, and requires no wild assumptions about lost ancient knowledge. The lack of a single, unified blueprint isn't a historical conspiracy, it is simply because the builders dynamically adapted their methods at different stages of construction. A ramp made sense for the core, while ladders were used for the upper tiers. As for the missing ramp traces, they didn't survive because they were completely dismantled for raw building materials the moment construction wrapped. For skeptics, the textbooks are written and everything else is just a product of overactive imaginations. Version B, the alternative theory. This controversial approach claims that we cannot explain the construction using standard methods because the Egyptians possessed a technology we are severely underestimating. The most famous variant is the geopolymer concrete hypothesis, proposed by French chemist Joseph Davidovits. He argued that the pyramid blocks weren't carved out of a quarry at all, they were cast right on site from liquid limestone rubble mixed with a chemical binding agent. This would elegantly explain the perfect fit between the blocks, the absolute absence of gaps, and how workers could move material in simple buckets instead of dragging multi-ton monoliths. Davidovits even successfully reconstructed this chemical process, proving the resulting synthetic stone is visually indistinguishable from natural limestone. However, this is where the theory cracks. Rigorous geological analysis of the blocks has repeatedly confirmed their natural, quarried origin. The internal stone structure contains microscopic marine fossils and natural sedimentary layering identical to the Giza bedrock. No ancient concrete mix could perfectly reproduce those organic textures. Furthermore, Egyptologists have documented clear copper tool marks on the block surfaces, the unmistakable signature of physical cutting, not casting in a mold. Version C, the balanced view. This is where I land. The Egyptians did indeed rely on ramps and ladders, but their greatest engineering breakthrough wasn't brute force or secret chemistry, it was unparalleled labor organization. The brilliant crew system with competing guilds, synchronized shift work, water-based delivery logistics, standardized block sizes, and strict quality control tolerances checked at every stage turned a chaotic construction site into a precise industrial process millennia before the industrial age. The pyramid's ultimate secret isn't forgotten science, it's masterclass project management. We are looking at the greatest organizational feat of the ancient world, where engineering served management, not the other way around. The Great Pyramid has not revealed all of its secrets yet, but science is drawing closer every day. In 2017, the International Scan Pyramids team utilized muon tomography, a technology born from particle physics, and discovered a massive, hidden void directly above the Grand Gallery. 30 meters long, its true purpose remains entirely unknown. While Houdin's internal ramp is still to be physically uncovered, the mere ability to peer through solid rock without a single touch is completely changing the rules of the game. Microgravity scans are exposing hidden density zones, thermal cameras are tracing voids by temperature variance, and drones are mapping every single centimeter of the structure. We are entering an era where the pyramid ceases to be a silent monument and becomes a subject of non-destructive exploration. Perhaps the final answers do not lie in new physical excavations, but in the intelligent interpretation of the data already gathered directly above our heads. So, here is the question I leave you with. Imagine a muon scanner reveals a completely unknown, sealed chamber deep within the heart of the pyramid. To access it, you must drill a narrow probe through several meters of pristine, ancient limestone. Would you grant the permission to drill for the sake of science? Or would you leave the chamber untouched, sacrificing absolute knowledge to preserve the ultimate monument of human history?